All right, we're going to start off with sprites that we've already gotten a picture of off of the internet somewhere and saved them in our Google Drive. So I just want to talk to you about how to create sprites here for a moment. So on our original menu from GameMaker, we go up here and we right-click on sprites. We hit Create Sprite and we name it. And then naming conventions, I want you to name all sprites SPR. And we'll just call this one Sprite Player for a moment. And then we hit the word Edit Sprite. Once we do this, we go to File, and we say New. And once we do File New, it'll show up the 32 by 32 pixels, and we'll just leave it there for right now. That's pretty small, but you can always change that if you want a bigger sprite, and just hit OK. Once you want to start editing it, you just double-click on it, and then if you want to see a little more, you increase the font a little bit. So I'll start us off with a simple button. So all I'm going to do is use the pour paint, and black was really not what I want. So I'm going to click on black, and I'm going to change this over to blue and say OK, and I'm just going to pour again. And then real quick here, there's one image that says button eyes, and you can play around with these as you see fit. And as you see what it's going to do over here, it's going to change it into a button. So I'm just going to call it good. And we're going to say check mark. And after we say check mark, we're going to center it up and say check mark again. So we've now done Sprite Player, and it's just a button. I'm going to go ahead and do one more, and I'm going to say Create Sprite. And this one I'm going to try to animate a bit. So I'm going to call it Sprite Animate. And I'm going to go ahead and say Edit Sprite again. And from Edit Sprite, another way I can create a new sprite is just double click here, the white piece of paper, and hit OK again. And again, if you want to change size, you can. I mean, if we want to make this one 64 by 64, you'll see when we put it in the room, it's a little bigger. Say OK. Notice this is a little bigger. Again, I double click to edit it. I can use the zoom in and or out to see where I'm going here. And I'm just going to start for a moment here, just doing some simple stuff. I'm going to switch to a pencil tool. I'm going to go to a fairly thin line, although this is being a small thing, and I'll just switch from this color over to, I don't know, maybe a light green. So, you know what? I'm going to do a circle first, and this one says just the outline. Actually, this one says outline, and I thought I had it on outline only. But here's my back button. So, there we go, outline only. And that's the difference between these buttons down here. It's whether to fill it or not. And then I'm just going to start off with this as my first sprite. So I will say check for a moment. And then where it says animation, what I can do is I can either set length or I can just copy and paste this particular sprite for a moment. So edit, I can copy and edit, and I can paste. And so there's my second one. So I'm going to go in and edit this second one. I'm going to draw up a little bit here. I'm just going to go to the straight line tool, which is here. I'm going to keep the same thickness, and I'm going to start drawing just the beginnings of eyes and the beginnings of a mouth, I suppose. And then I'm just going to say check mark. And now I'm going to go on this one. I'm going to say edit, copy, edit, paste. And I'm just going to, again, add a little more. So I'm going to go in and edit it, blow it up a little bit. I'm going to extend the eyes a little bit more. Extend the eye a little bit more. I don't know why I got this random thing in there, so I'm just going to erase that rando thing there. And I'm going to choose just a pencil tool, and I'm going to start bringing the mouth down. And last but not least, I'll just check mark, and I'll go edit, copy, edit, paste this one. Oops. Now they're in the wrong order, so here's with their order thing. I'm just going to move it over. So this one, edit, copy, edit, paste. One more time. Double click, blow it up. I don't know, maybe I'll fill in the eyes just a little bit more. I'll go straight line tool. I'll make the eyes start to open a little bit maybe. And then I'll finish the mouth with this tool here. All right. So obviously I'm not an art student, but here's your basic concepts. Animation also, you can hit set length, and then you can do this whatever you want. You can play around with this a minute. So now I've got this sprite, and I center it up again. I say, okay, one's called Sprite Player, one's called Sprite Animate. I need to do two more things with these sprites, and I'll show you those in another video. But the idea is create objects and put them in a room. But that's good for right now. Thanks.